loudest cheers were reserved for the hometown Lions. They're set to go as they will match up with the New York Giants. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback.
Ready? Yellow 20! Hey, 70! Mike, look at
a look at Kerryon Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, setting the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
40 got! 40 got! Check right!
Out of the gun, Stafford. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. A little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. From the gun, here's Stafford. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. He's coming off a 3-interception performance last week, so certainly not how we wanted to start here.
Not at all, but this is where a quarterback gets tested. This is where we find out what he has underneath that jersey. Because he had a bad game last week. Can he shake off a bad start to this one and start to perform at the level he expects?
Switch! 6-6, pull it high, hit it.
Here's the former number 2 pick, the Pro Bowler Saquon Barkley. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. That's something we saw over and over again in Barkley's rookie season. He had 91 catches last year, most ever by a rookie running back. Part of a fantastic rookie campaign that saw him go over 2,000 total yards.
Hey, team 6. Get it.
From the 39, Jones. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
Mike 51, ready?
From the gun, Jones. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he'll bring it all the way back, just a yard or 2 shy of midfield. So a pretty shaky start here for both sides.
Yeah, each quarterback's throwing the ball to the other team. Do you think on both sidelines they're sitting them down and saying, okay, remember, this is the color jersey we're wearing. They're wearing the other color. Let's make sure we get it to our guys, please.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Now, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, You know what the thought process is? Interception. One interception. It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Push him up. Push him back. 47 Mike. 47 Mike. Hey, Foxtrot. Foxtrot. Hey, check Mike 47. Check Mike 47. Zebra. Watch the screen.
Stafford. And he finds Danny Amendola. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Come on, D. Say, hey, Red. Say, hurry up.
A first down carry here for Johnson. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4.
3 bucks, 3 bucks, 3 bucks.
Stafford. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Dexter Lawrence able to record his 5th sack of the season.
For a rookie first-rounder, he's made a huge impact on this defense, but that tells me that they had a plan for him when they drafted him. Just turn him loose, do what you do best, go get the quarterback.
After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
40 got. 40 got. Hey, wahoo. Check 24. Check 24. Hey, 5-0. 47's the mic, boy. 47. Hey. 47. Hey, we're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down.
Zebra! Hey, check Mike 47. Check Mike 47. Smooth. Mike's 47. Mike's 47.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. The sack coming from big Dalvin Tomlinson.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Let's go. Let's go.
At their own 16-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
The 16-yard line.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Throwing Jones. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Trey Flowers. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
I got one. Bring her, guys. Hey, Haywood.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. And a throw there going to be incomplete. Here's Riley Dixon now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Take it at the 37. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. That's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
Back to the air. Stafford on 2nd down. And his throw here's incomplete. He was looking for his big tight end there, Jesse James. And now it's 3rd down. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Wide, get wide. 32.
They're going draw play. Stafford to Johnson. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. 4th down now after a loss of 2. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And this is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a 1st down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives.
He's got a man, complete. 30, past the 20. Touchdown, Giants. Golden Tate, 87 yards, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. The game had been pretty uneventful offensively until that big strike.
No doubt about it. Almost felt like they were just going back and forth a little bit in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, things ramped up a little bit. Things jumped up. And you're exactly right. Going to make a highlight film or two. We'll be watching that one later on today.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
25 yards that time.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. And an alley. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And who's got it? The Giants.
I know that taking care of the football is something that's drummed into every guy who plays this position, no matter what, whether he's running it, in the pocket, out of the pocket. But it's almost surprising to me that there aren't more fumbles by that position because of the way that they get attacked on each and every play.
Yeah, we had the fumble last week. Now here's 2 weeks in a row with a fumble loss.
Concentration has got to be there, and he's got to understand how much time he has to take care of a play, and maybe his clock is off just a little bit.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back. Check out hungry. Protein spill.
Out of the shotgun, they run with Barkley. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
First down, New York.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. Jones now operating from the gun. Finding Sterling Shepard for his first catch. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Come on, set, 50, plant.
2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game.
Q26, Q26.
Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Sterling Shepard, but it'll be second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Hey, echo. Check 26. Tie it right. Tie it right. Get it.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jones buying time to his left. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Trey Flowers picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. An update from Buffalo. The Bills have taken the early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. The Giants on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. A give to Barkley out of the gun. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on 4th down, on comes the Giants kicker, Aldrick Rosas. From the left hash, this from 46. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. Remember, with Rosas, there was some speculation last year in the preseason that he might not hold on to his job with the Giants.
But he certainly answered the challenge, didn't he? 32 of 33 during the regular season, 97% that is, and was named to the NFC Pro Bowl team. And by the way, at 6'3", 234, he can bench press your kicker.
The The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity. One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Back to throw, Stafford. That'll be taken in there by Kenny Golladay. The Lions on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Throwing is Stafford. He's going to let this one go deep. A throw for Golladay is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Final 24 seconds of the first half as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. Acott's right sideline in some space. And how about that for just running out the clock? The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. They keep it with Barkley on 1st down. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
1st and goal, Giants.
Let's go. Take you, Gators. I got you. Kill, 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 kill. Shit. Greystone, Travis. Shoot.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And the kick by Rosas is good. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. This is taken about 7 yards deep. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Second half begins with a run from Barkley. He'll have a first down past the 40. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. You know, I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then.
And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. but I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Well, those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
16 yards right off the bat and a first down. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
32. 32.
Check 49.
Now it's Stafford. And that's complete to Jesse James. Now he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
First and 10 at the 38-yard line.
180. Mike's 47. All right, T, let's go. All right, T. Hey, easy. Go now. 11. 47 is the Mike.
Operating from the gun. Stafford completing it to the right side. Johnson. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
To carry on Johnson.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
– 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
That's going to be a long day. Whip. Watch the whip. 47's the Mike, boys. 47. Check. 47. Okay, give me radar. 47 Mike. Mike, 47. I'm coming out to you.
Now Stafford. He'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
Stay 50.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Mike's 47.
Stafford on first down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Melvin away and bring up 2nd down.
Second and 10, Stafford again. He's going to go up top for the end zone. Galladay's got it, and the Lions have a touchdown. Kenny Galladay, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead. Prater for the extra point, and that cuts this lead down to 13. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
So from the 36 now, first and 10.
You gonna see me in your nightmares, son. You gonna see me in the
Now Jones. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Saquon Barkley running right, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a third down.
On the double. Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room.
Now Jones. From the gun, he'll throw. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Credit the sack to Brandon Marshall. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Here we go. Easy alert. Watch it
To throw again. Stafford. Throw left side, taken in by Galladay. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one good for 26 and a first down. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. But last year, despite playing all 16 games, he had 0. No room to be had there on the first down run as he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
2nd and 10 at the 48-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10.
White, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you. 55 miles.
To throw is Stafford. Over the middle, complete. That's James. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 37. Stafford now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. Looking downfield for Jones. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the veteran Antoine Bethea. And a great return as he takes us up just shy of the 45. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique, and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance. He's helping his team in a huge way.
Go. Get it.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
I don't even know why his team showed up.
Here's 2nd and 8. That's complete left side to Shepard. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
You ready?
Mike 40. Hey, tight. Double tight.
Recon, 132 fighter. Rush in. 40's Mike. You can't block me. Now.
Jones to throw on 3rd down. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. The ex-Iowa Hawkeye Mike Daniels in for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Riley Dixon now as he's on to punt for New York. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 13-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
On 1st down, they look downfield, and it's complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That's good for 28 yards. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
Double right. Easy.
Let's get off the field, D. 47's the mic, boy. 47. Check. 47. Here we go.
On 1st down, Stafford here. Throwing deep for Galladay. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Hey. Mike's 47. Get your swerve on. 47. Hey, 54. Here's the mic.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Marcus Golden, too much to handle that time, gets the sack.
I remember throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score.
Hey, Alpha. Easy. Hey, come on out here. Come get it.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And James has it. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 44-yard line.
50.
On first down, it's Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays.
Always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Looking to throw again on second down. Stafford, now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And he is going to be stopped on the return at his own 3-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. 7 yards there and a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
So a victory here for the men in blue, the New York Giants, and they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter,